Hello, stellar people, and welcome back to the channel, where we will continue the process of Vasilisa BabaYaga. We've just been moving it along, and currently I am working on foliage. So there's been examples, like I'm looking at the trees, bushes, mushrooms, how the land is done, and trying to figure that all out, so that I can then insert it into this image. So I'm looking at, how do they do trees? I think these are pines. I'm not sure exactly what these are. How do they do snow effects and all of that? And I'm just trying to take notes, and then I can try to apply it to the foliage. So some pines, some how they do bushes, some tree effects, different styles of trees, bushes, all of that. More trees, looking at different sources to see is there commonality, things that I can think about from each one, each thing. I'm thinking of the big tree, which I'm not exactly happy with yet, but it's coming along. A very big tree, and this I think is going to be the tree that is, in a way, clutching at her dress of Vasilisa as she runs by. I have a little bit of, I was doing some color just to do a little test. I'm liking the rock structure, because in this, right, there's that shelf type look of the soil, the ground. And so I was just trying to work out how that looks, mimicking. So that's where we're at with this. And soon we'll be able to plug all these trees into the image. Just, grab them and then place them to see what it would look like when everything's in the place where it should be, or where I'd like to see it. And that is some of the background. Now for the background, I've been working on this mock-up. So now that we have the idea of what we want, now we can start plugging in things. I had the mock-up here, which I am fading back by using the eraser tool. And I'm just erasing, trying to knock all of this dark parts back. So then we can plug in what actually should be there. So I'm knocking back the characters also, because we're going to put our new character designs, or more fleshed out. And this is going to go in rounds. I usually do maybe 3-4 rounds, where it first starts with the sketch, and then I go to a tighter sketch, and then maybe to tight pencils, sometimes to ink, but I'm not sure if that's necessary for this. So here we have the image of the chicken that I did very loosely, and this is going to be her house. So I have the concept, and I'm going to make a duplicate of it. So layer, duplicate layer, yes, hide the original, and we're going to take this, I want to blow it up, and it's going to get a little pixely, but that's okay. So now we have a very large chicken. Let's move that to about the center. Now, first things first, I'm going to take off the head. So erase. So what I'm thinking is that we might be able to do like a small chicken head on the house. But say this is like a roof, and I can start to see a house coming into shape. Now we're going to keep the feet, and we're going to actually accentuate the feet. But first, we just shaping it. So if we then V 30%, let's say, and then we made a new layer, and let's go to the brush tool, and we're just gonna, so say if the house was something like this, right, you have the roof, maybe it does go back in space because it's a cottage, right? It's not a huge house. Let's say it was something like this. And maybe it has to sit down so you can enter the house. But say the legs. And I'm not exactly sure what chicken feet look like, but we'll work that out. And we've got, right, something like this. And maybe here's the door. Maybe she has a little porch. Maybe she has 2 windows here. And maybe a larger window on the side. And maybe it's an upstairs, downstairs chicken house. Where this is another larger window, and maybe there's like a little but the chicken part is like, I don't know, just simulated. And this is just an idea of how we would do it. And she's got tiling, but it's all messed up. It's like one of those old houses that starts to buckle in the middle and it starts to shift and warp. These are just, I'm kind of liking this. And that was just simple. Still need to work on the feet, but we'll get that as we actually look at fine chicken feet reference, and we'll work that out. Maybe raise it up a little bit. Get the legs a little bit longer. So, and then this is just a rough stage. And that's some semblance of a chicken-legged house. Now for the characters, I have made a one sheet, which if you're going to draw characters, it's best to work out stuff on a small scale. So this is an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. I arranged all of the characters on this one sheet. And then you make it black and white, take it down to 70%, print it out. Right, there's all these little bits and bobs that I'm working on all together. The benefits of doing it like this is that you can share design cues between them if they're all on one sheet. I don't have to look at another sheet. I can see, okay, so if we're doing her dress in such and such a way or hair in such and such a way, I can look at others to see if it matches. Or say for the horses, this is the rider at dawn and I have the hair more like clouds. Well, the horsemen at noon, where the sun is the highest and the strongest, I have the hair looking like flame. So the flame hair on the horse in this one, while the Mr. Midnight isn't part of the flame, he is the moon. So behind him is, well, some semblance of moon. And the moon I associate with death, some slight skeletal clues. And he's riding a stag, unlike these two who are riding horse. So I'm gonna try to keep the horses and stags more or less within the same stylistic range, while also, having differences. Baba Yaga, Vasilisa, all of it on its own layer. Making correction to the face, horse, and then I would just collapse this. So save it, of course, flatten image, and then I make that a layer so that I can adjust things. And mode, grayscale. Yep. And then once it's like this, V 70%, and then I would print it out. And then you can draw on it on top with a colored pencil or just a regular pencil to sharpen up the details. You can also take it down to like 50 or 30, but usually in the beginning, about a 70 is good. And I tighten it up on the printout. Now I'm just undoing. Undo, okay. And that is what we've been up to on Vasilisa BabaYaga. Still got a ways to go, but making progress. Hopefully I'll have the characters done and then in place within the next 2 weeks. Till then, I've been Trey, and I will see you on the next episode of the process of Vasilisa BabaYaga. Take care. See you next time.